where one guy goes low and one guy goes high, that's a foul all the time.
Definitely out of the yard, right? It doesn't matter where the play is going.
Mhm.
Anything that's a safety foul. To prevent injury, you're gonna, that's.
But they don't teach that anymore, like nobody's.
No. No, I mean, always, every time I've seen a chop block, it's been a missed assignment.
Yeah,
So one guy was supposed to go low on the nose tackle. The guard was supposed to release and go get a linebacker. The guard didn't. He ended up going for the nose tackle as well. And then we end up with two guys on one. One guy's cutting, the other guy's up high. The cut was legal on its own. The high block was legal on its own, but together. And then they're yelling at each other because it's like you weren't supposed to hit him. Yeah, they missed the assignment. Yeah. I don't see chop blocks being deliberate. What I do see sometimes on these plays is low blocks, which are illegal everywhere on kicks.
okay.
So how do you pick that up? You watch your area, make sure you don't miss it. You see a guy that's setting up to cut, stay on him. Stay on him.
You if they even know that.
Block hole in the way.
I've never seen a low block on a kick.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
We see him every year.
Block hole in the waves, it's only go everywhere. Except on a line of scrimmage,
On a scrimmage play.
on a scrimmage play. At the snap.
That's right. That's the only time it can be legal, in fact, is at the snap, right as the ball is being snapped to basically in the trenches.
They're holding line.
Yep.
Not even the ends, right?
No. So, and you probably have heard coaches talking about it with the wing officials because the guys who are handling the line of scrimmage and the umpire are the only three that are probably going to see it. Sometimes the referee will see it. But again, we've all got responsibilities on that play, and we're in a mostly compressed space. When you see it in this play, it's going to be like, oh my God, that can't happen. You're probably going to freeze because you don't see these plays very often. You're going to say, what? And then eventually you'll process it, throw your flag. There's no such thing on a kickoff return as a late flag. I mean, I guess after the play's over, we're all walking back to position, then you throw your flag. That's pretty late. But because the flag doesn't kill the play, you can process it and then decide and then throw it. Just make sure it lands in the area where the foul occurred. And then tell the referee, hey, back here, I had a guy cut this other guy. It's an illegal block below the waist. Right? Make sure you get the number. Because you know what the coach is going to want to know. Who did it? Which guy was it? And I remember the very first game I ever worked in a youth jamboree, I had a hold on a kickoff return. And I ran in to tell our buddy Chris Lopresto, I got a hold. And he's like, what was the number? And I said, it was a blue shirt. I have no idea. So you got to figure out a way to slow down, get the information. We need to know who it was, where it was, when it was, and what it was, right? You tell all that to the referee. You don't need to know the enforcement right now. You don't need to know why he did it. You just need to know those who, what, where, when. You know, it was during the kick. It was during the return. Yep.
One guy on the crew does all the signals for the call. So
Correct.
you report to him and tell him what happened, and
he makes the signal, but the crew will make the penalty enforcement happen.
All right.
So after you've told the referee, then you're going to go into a penalty enforcement mode, and everybody has a job.
Yep.
So the referee generally is the only one without a job on the penalty enforcement because his job is to inform the stadium that this happened.
Okay.
But the umpire, both of the wing officials, even if there's a back judge, he's going to want to know what the down was, make sure that the clock is correct, right? Set the play clock. There is a distinct role for everybody. And like I said, when I took this class years ago, they didn't think to tell us what to do on penalty enforcement. They didn't think to tell us where to stand on kickoffs because they were so focused on the rule book.
Okay.
I really do believe you need to learn both. You've got to learn how to handle a measurement, how to handle penalty enforcement, as well as What is the rule when a guy says F you to somebody else? What is the rule when, they do the hidden, I forgot the T, or what is the rule when there's too many guys on the line of scrimmage or not enough guys or illegal numbers, all the things that happen.
Is that anybody's call? Well, there are a lot of people on the line of scrimmage.
Well, not anymore. It used to be that we had to know that there were 7 officials on the line. Now we just need to know that there aren't more than 4 in the backfield.
I'm saying, would any ref they call that foul
Your two wings are responsible
or
aren't responsible for line of scrimmage.
The wing officials, which will be you on a youth field or on a high school field someday, will be counting how many backs there are. So you got to know, okay, the quarterback, that's 1. His tailback, that's 2. We got 2 guys in the slots. That's 4 guys in the backfield. We're good.
there?
But then they line up wrong. Tight end goes to the wrong side, and the guy's covering him is like, oh, shoot, that's a tight end. I got to back up. Now you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Illegal formation. Too many backs.
There's
Or somebody goes in motion.
illegal shifts seem to be tricky. Like Smitty is notorious for, you get these strange formations where the slot steps up,
Pat Smith.
steps back.
Mhm.
Like they penalize themselves all year long for
Yes. Yeah, he's famous for the trick plays, the trickery,
Yeah.
right? A lot of coaches you'll get especially in the youth field too, they'll see something on Monday Night Football and they'll just put it right into their youth playbook and it'll be so illegal.
But
And-
it's not illegal until the player's set, correct? Like
I mean,
you said.
technically it's not a foul for a formation infraction until the ball is snapped. Because until the ball is snapped, they could fix it. They could move guys around. They could even substitute.
So as soon as it's snapped, it's whistle dead.
No,
You play it out.
you play it out because
Could be a loss.
But
it's a live ball. It's a live ball foul. So it's penalized from the snap position, but it's not penalized at that moment.
Right.
So that's one of those things that happens enough that when you see it a few times, it'll become second nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, we usually have a few of those situations that come up.
those are the types of things that will happen
Yep.
at the pre-meeting.
Oh yeah, we do. All right, so continuing on. Like I said, the more plays you see, the better off you'll be. But like I just said, and I won't dwell on this because I just talked about it, you need to know your position, but also what everyone else's position is, right? You work a 3-man game, which means the referee and 2 wings. When there's a penalty to enforce, you need to know the referee's busy. Somebody has to help him move the ball down the field for the penalty enforcement, right? The referee's busy. Someone needs to keep track of the clock, right? So you have to know what his job is, what the other wing's job is with the chains. Understand that everyone's got a responsibility. Technically, the one official who's on the wing who doesn't have the chains and doesn't have to give the signals is going to do a lot of the rest of the work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Unless they have a timer, thank God more youth programs are using timers. But when you're at a JV game, you're not going to have a scoreboard. So you need to keep it on the field. So all of these jobs are important. And then, God forbid, somebody can't officiate because they get injured. You may have to take on that role. So we've had first-year guys who've had to become referees, and they have to give the signals. Right? Or guys who have to work umpire for the first time because the umpire gets hurt, right? Be prepared to
The
do.
referee is, which one is the white hat?
That's the referee.
Referee.
We're all football referees, but the name of the position of the referee who gives the signals is just the referee. Then you have the headline judge and the line judge. Those are the 2 wings. The umpire is kind of opposite the referee. And then the back judge is downfield.
The 5.
5 officials have those 5 names, and lately more and more varsity games have added 2 more officials, and we call those the field judge and the side judge.
Where do they position themselves?
They're deep like the back judge, but on the sidelines. So then you'll have three guys down the field to handle all the deep balls and long runs, and then you'll have the other the other four officials will be covering action around the ball at the snap.
So the line judges are covering the out of bounds, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Both on each sideline in a seven-man game, you've got two people on the sideline, so they'll take care of that sideline together.
Okay.
You know, when you're most of all the games you're working this year will be just you on the sideline. You'll have the sideline from goal line to goal line.
Right.
Right?
So the 7-man would be more
like NFA New London.
Oh,
You know, lately some of the high school programs have encouraged more and more officials to cover their games because they want to do more of a run pass option. They want to do more misdirection, and they want to make sure that we're protecting their receivers. So they'll add two more officials. And because it is a better game when you have more officials.
yeah.
Like you mentioned, you know, the field has a lot of width. People don't realize how wide it is. It's more square than people really understand. It is long, but it is wide, and the field is divided into thirds. So literally the middle of the field is exactly the same width as both of the side zones.
Okay.
The numbers have a particular position. There's a width of the field goal posts that are a particular position. The pylons have a particular placement that they need to be. They're out of bounds, but in the end zone. So you need to make sure that all that. And then, of course, the teams are restricted to certain spots,
Yep.
right? Now, I believe that in the high school game, they've expanded it to the 20s. Is that right? A lot of the turf fields have the team box expanded to the 20-yard line on both sides, but I believe the rule book still has them at the 25.
Right.
But during COVID, they let them spread out, and a lot of fields were made during that time, and so they still mark them out to there. You need to know what it really is. Now we have these different distances, but we need to know that number 2 is called the end line. Number 1 is called the end zone. And number 4 is called the goal line, right? Obviously, those 3 things are very important because that's where all the points are scored.
Right.
Number 3, we call that the team box, right? What's not listed here is the sideline, but we have 6, which is the middle of the field, and in this particular spot, this particular marks here aren't relevant to anything other than dirt in the middle of the field. But number 5, those are called the inbounds marks in the rule book, but most people call them hash marks, right? So need to be aware of all those. And now we have the sideline, we have a coach's area. Notice that the coach's area here is in front of the team box. So I'll always go out to the players and say, hey guys, give your coaches room. That's letting the coaches know you're going to work with them. You're going to give them their space. But notice how there's room in front of the coaches area for you to work. And actually, this is a little bit of a dated picture. We get 2 full steps, 2 big steps back from the sideline that when the play is going, nobody can be in there but us. It's just our spot. The chain crew should even be out of that area too. So you're probably working with high school officials. You probably have had them position you.
Yeah,
Set,
you know, yard and a half or so up
Yep.
the field.
Yep. And you want to make sure those players are behind you.
Yep.
So when you're out on the field and you say you're working on the chain side of the field, remember what it was like to be a chain crew and know that in a youth game, it's just going to be parents. They pull out of the stands, sometimes players, sometimes kids. Make sure you keep them safe. Make sure they understand. And we also have the restricted area, which I know some of our youth fields have less of this than others. You want to make sure there's nobody crowding the goal line. Nobody's got a wicker chair or something sitting right behind the end zone.
Right.
They got to be back a certain distance to be safe because we all know players are moving full speed. They go off the field, and more importantly, we're moving, and we don't look at the out of bounds plays. We have to watch the players. And I've broken high value lenses on cameras. I've knocked people over. I can't watch them. I have to watch the action.
Right.
So make sure before the play, if you feel people creeping, back them up. Get them out of there. Now, the players themselves create two lines of scrimmage. We set the ball, and the back of the ball is the offense's line of scrimmage. The front of the ball is the defensive line of scrimmage. That creates a neutral zone that's one ball wide. So I brought a football so you can see, really, that is the neutral zone. It's not huge, right?
So,
So as long as both lines are behind their point of the football, you should have space between them. There's only one player that's allowed to break that zone, and that is the snapper. Because the snapper, when he's snapping the ball, he's probably going to be over the ball, right? But nobody else can be there. So we understand that we need to be standing in a position where we can officiate that. So you'll see here that the headline judge and the line judge are going to be positioned at the neutral zone.
Right.
The referee, this is a three-man game, is going to be a little bit off to one side, and he's going to be officiating the interior line.
how to choose which side of the off are.
I usually go to the right, but generally in high school, we go on the throwing arm side if we're a referee.
All right.
These guys are going to be wherever the chains are located. So the headline judge is going to be across from the press box so that basically the clock operator can see the chains.
Okay.
So it's across the field from the booth. And the line judge is going to be on the same side as the booth. No matter what direction teams are going, you don't switch sides. So the teams switch directions, but we don't change positions. So this is the homework. So what I'd like you to do is look at the rules with pay special attention to loose ball stuff and the definition of players. So there is a section of the rule in Rule 2 that's called player designations. Read it, understand it, and the other one is loose balls. So look up pass, kick, fumble, and muff. And we'll start next Thursday. You got till next Thursday. I'm not going to hold you to quiz them, but you can. You can quiz them on those things. But next Thursday we'll be right here, hopefully, unless you aren't going to be here. Let me know right away.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
And I'll get you a virtual access to a quiz question that you can answer just to keep yourself in the rule book and to make sure you've got your questions answered. I set this as homework because these are the things that come up the most often with the casual fans misunderstanding. Most casual fans don't know what a back is. They think it's Ricky Waters. They think it's Walter Payton. That's a back. But in football language, a back is anyone who's not on the line of scrimmage.
Right.
A slot, a receiver is a back, right? A lineman includes the wide receiver that is split wide and on the line. He's a lineman. We don't think of lineman as being a guy number 84, but he is. The tight end is a lineman, right?
Yep.
And defensive players, so important in the game today. What is a defensive player? And of course, we get a lot of misunderstandings, as I mentioned earlier in the class, about a muff. What is a muff? You can muff a fumble, you can muff a pass, you can muff a kick. You can't fumble a kick. You can't fumble a pass. It's impossible. You can only fumble a ball in possession. Then it can be fumbled. And a kick and a pass are not in anyone's possession. So, of course, a pass and a kick can't happen to a ball in possession. It has to be loose to be a pass or a kick. So those definitions are super important because when you tell the referee, this happened and then there was a pass. This happened while the ball was being returned, so it was in possession. It changes the ruling on the field. It changes the penalty enforcement. So those definitions are probably the most important things to learn. They're all in Rule 2. Rule 2 is very important. Yeah. So thank you for coming today. Thank you for your patience. I did record a lot of what we talked about after we got through the logistics that we were talking about. I started recording when she was presenting. So, but of course my meeting stopped when the battery started, so I started it again. So I will again record this